Sajita, Skyver. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello. Welcome back to the workshop here at Noarth Creations. Here is the next episode of the all leather tote bag. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me here today. If you get any value out of this video, or if you like what I throw down, then go down and smash that like button. I appreciate it. And don't forget to hit the bell notification next to the subscribe button so that you're notified every time I upload. So, let's get into today's content. In the previous episode, or wherever corner it's in, you saw me finish the bottom, get this ready to be sewn. Saw me cut out the two sides and then skive the sides, skive the edges, mark where my straps are going to go, cut out the straps for the handles attached to the D-rings. These will be sewn onto the sides of the bag here. That is actually the next step. So let's head over to the old union there and we will sew we can sew these together with the red thread. Before I sew these on, I have to glue them. I'll glue these onto here. I'm gonna take these straps and I'm gonna soak the ends in a little bit of water, soften them up so I can get a little bit of a tighter radius around the D-rings. To glue them on like that. I'm not going to glue all the way up to here because what I want to do is have a little bit of excess so that it comes, got a little bit of leeway like this. So I'm only going to glue, I'm going to start about 1 inch down. I don't know if you can see those marks, but I marked where my straps are going to go. But I marked slightly narrower than the width of the straps. These are about 1 inch wide, and I marked 5/8. That way my marks don't show through once the strap is on. And you know, the bag is, once you're using it and the bag is flopping around and then the edge would curl and you could see that line there. So that way all the glue and all the lines are hidden underneath the seam. At this stage, this is when larger projects start becoming more fun because you start assembling the pieces that you've prepped, and that is the best part about it all, the assembly. Okay, there's that one. It's also where you have to be extra careful every step of the way. And even with these straps gluing, all this glue is really just to hold it in place until it gets sewn. The glue doesn't really do much for structural, just tacks it together until you get your stitches through it, and then you are a solid piece once you're sewn. That's why I like to glue inside my edges. Keeps the glue less exposed from the public eyes, peering eyes. Two side, marked out, ready to be sewn. Not the sides just yet, just the up and down straps here. right, threads are burnt. That's 2 sides ready to be sewn together. All right, what you saw me do there was open up these seams that I had glued. Next time I do this, I'm not going to glue these seams on this side because then it's kind of torn them out now. What I would do next time is just stitch it without gluing it. That way you don't get these rough edges. What I'm going to do next is, you saw me glue these edges here and here. So I'm going to stamp them down, hit it with the hammer just a little bit lightly, and then they get sewn on either side again, once more. All right, this is the fun part right here. Okay, here's our filler strip, skive down. I'm going to glue the undersides of these and the inside of these seams, but I'm only going to glue just to these edges. Power on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew this side first because the foot here is wider on the outside of the machine. And I will use the width of the foot as my gauge for how wide I want my stitch line to be. So this is freehand sewing on a machine. Action. assembly has begun. However, there's more cutting to be done too, so stick around for that. Next step, this one's gonna be one of the more tricky steps. I have to glue the inside edge of the bottom belt right here, and I have to glue the outside edge of the sides of the bag, and then I gotta line them up. So that will be a little bit more tricky. I have 2 stitch lines on the top of the sides here. So I will have to give it about, there's bottom, probably a good 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so what's happening here is I may have made the sides of the bag compared to the belt of the bag slightly too off size for each other. So right now, this is something you got to look out for, is you have a piece, the sides of the bag are too big and the belt is too small, so it's kind of squinch in. And then you get pleats like on your pants, pleated pants, right? You don't want that. You want a nice straight edge. So what you got to do is you got to go around the circumference of the bag and you got to squinch it in. Squinch it and squinch it and squinch it, and then that way it all gets evened out a bit. It's a big bag. Head over to the old Union that way and do the old stitcheroonie. Okay, so I think I've got everything lined up. Freehand! All right, so there, you've seen me take a drawing, these drawings, and then make measurements, cut some straps, cut some rectangles, cut a couple radius corners, and now we have what's starting to look like a pretty decent tote bag. I'm gonna call it there for today's episode. This is the exciting part. It's getting exciting already with this. Tune in next time and I will make the handles, rolled leather handles, nice fancy, looks real nice. So I'll do the handles and then I'm gonna finish the top of the bag. So that'll include a belt that's gonna go around the top, and then there'll be a couple of pockets in on the sides as well, made out of the black and burgundy leather. So that's next episode. Tune in then. If you want to go down and subscribe, don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you're notified every time that I upload into video series such as this one and future videos on more leather products and projects, video projects. It's awesome. Thank you all for joining me here today, and don't forget to keep your stick on the ice.